Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
Welcome one and all to Dice Company, where a group of old friends weave tales of triumph, heroism and despair under the guise of playing Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Tom, and I'll be your DM through the continuing adventures of the Order of the Heron, ? Order of the Heron, ? Please introduce yourselves and tell the audience one fun fact about your characters.
Should we respond to him? He's called us the Order of the Heron. He's forcing us to a choice.
Well, I've already got my heron tattoo.
Definitely don't respond to him then, right?
It's in the middle of my face, where my nose used to be.
Hello, my name is Charlie, and I play Vander Finnick. Tiara's words of last week's chapter have had a profound effect on Vander. She talked of the obsidian matrix making her a god. Consider as well the wish that Papa Ungamus offered to grant and the great power that promised. These things have got Vander thinking, considering perhaps the potential of something he didn't dare to dream, the possibility of becoming whole again, what it would be to be restored. The thought itself is intoxicating.
Hang on. Last week or the week before, everyone was a bit alarmed that Augustus maybe wanted to be a king, and now Vander steps in and wants to be a god. Anyone scared?
Yeah, I mean...
Surprised I didn't get an alarm from Tock there.
I was too shocked.
Is there already a god of soup in this world, or is that vacant?
That is vacant.
Divine gastronaut.
Is something vacant if it shouldn't exist? Keep an even closer pair of eyes on Vander at all times. The god complex is here. It's real. It's happening. Hello, I'm Alex, and I'm playing Augustus Zeno. And Augustus has noticed that everyone has a pet, if you count Tock's pet, Tick. And Augustus is jealous, and now he's missing his horses. So he's named his horses. They are called Pegasus and Mr. Pippin. He hopes to get them back, along with his stagecoach, very soon.
Well, it's a fancy cart. Pegasus, yes, I get where that's coming from. Mr. Pippin, is there a story behind that?
Isn't that Lord of the Rings?
That's one of the hobbits, Chuck, not one of the...
Oh, God, it is. It feels like it is a horse of a story, Mr. Pippin. Oh, no.
Next time someone tells me something that really matters to them, I'm going to go, oh, no.
I apologize. I withdraw from the conversation. Let's continue.
Also, interesting to hear that you're jealous that Bennie has got a dog because you love his dog so much. That's good to know.
Stupid dog. I almost called one of them Ghastly Slurp that came up last week. Then I thought I couldn't find another name as bad. And then I just decided to give them both nice names.
Who's to say the horses won't return just as zombie horses?
Oh, no. You just guaranteed it there.
Now you're talking about language.
You get off, Mr. Pippin and Pegasus.
Hello, I'm Dave, and I play Bennie Quez. Just a little bit of additional Bennie backstory for my fact this week. As I believe I've mentioned in a previous fact, Bennie was living with a group of kind of outcasts in a cellar shortly after escaping from the orphanage in his youth, involved in petty crime and the like. One day, Bennie was out and about, and when he returned, in quite a rare occurrence, they'd had a visitor. Someone had knocked at the door, and it was someone who had been looking for Bennie and who had said that she was his aunt. When the person said that Bennie wasn't around, she went away and said she would call back and try and find him another time. And she was never seen again. And Bennie occasionally wonders who that was.
So, a mystery physicist in a cellar. Was Bennie getting flashbacks when he first met Augustus then?
No.
It could have been his aunt all along, just in search of claret.
It would explain why everyone neglected to mention a detail of this crazy aunt that came to visit.
Yeah.
I would like to step in and say that it fits perfectly with the backstory I'm building for you.
Well, that's good news. That's a fine piece of luck.
It really is.
Just write down a note. Shadow Vanguard aunt.
That is exactly what I thought.
Hi, I'm Harry, and I play Tock, a 6'8" imposing automaton. My fact today is something that Tock has been, again, talking to Bennie whilst in the bag. In fact, talking to Vander whilst in the bag, dressed as a zombie. And it's better suggestions for Bennie the Rojan. The suggestions are Shadow Child, the Unseen, Ghost, Lurk, the Maker of Minimal Noise, Phase Spider, Twist of the Knife, the Bold Deceiver.
I mean, I'm all up for more names for Bennie. I think that I obviously still prefer the demonic Quaalude and will be pushing that. But certainly there are some. I mean, Bennie, any favourites so far?
Why does everyone feel that Bennie needs another name?
Well, I mean, Tock just likes naming stuff.
Yeah.
I spent a good 3 minutes coming up with the name Bennie Quez. I don't think I need anything else. Although I did quite like Lurch or Lurk. Sorry.
Lurch.
Yeah.
What wasn't an option?
Though I do like Bartholomew.
I particularly like Phase Spider. I thought that was the best of the lot.
Difficult to connect Phase Spider to Bennie.
I misheard it as Face Spider, and I wondered what was being suggested.
A massive fan of Face Spider.
Yeah.
That's even better.
I'm not having people call me Face Spider.
I book a room, please, for Face Spider.
Love it, love it, love it. So, like flies to wanton boys, are we to the gods. They kill us for their sport. In the next chapter of Dice Company. Previously on Dice Company. Time has dragged on as your resources have been slowly exhausted in Lothar Janeth's Palace of Lies. You defeated 2 lava mummies who were performing some sort of petrification process on the zombies of Verokir. In the process, you released Shadow Vanguard Tiara, but you were able to defeat her once again and imprison her in the Alokian protected cell. As you boarded a platform which took you up to the main floor of the palace, the cavern was filled with her screams. With a gentle jolt, the platform comes to a rest at the end of a corridor. 30 feet ahead of you is a beautiful lobby area with a long water feature in the center of it. There are no signs of movement as you move towards it. In the lobby are 3 locked doors, one to the east, one to the west, and one to the north. What would you like to do?
I would like to see if Missy comes back. I'm kind of expecting Missy to return to me, having scouted out in front.
Missy does not return to you. Unfortunately, Missy, having disappeared when she was scouting, appears to have been killed.
I turn to the group and say, you know how I said everything seemed to be fine? Well, interesting news. Turns out, because having a familiar is somewhat new to me, I mistook Missy flying into a very dark place with Missy getting killed. So there's a very strong chance that everything is not fine. Sorry.
Vander shuffles up to Bennie. I quite understand. Bellerophon was also killed while bravely investigating.
Thanks, Vander. I hope I can get her back. Yeah. It worked the first time.
I'm sure in time you can.
Well, hopefully. I was growing very fond of that raven.
And I of Bellerophon.
Yeah, weird that, isn't it?
Just to intervene on behalf of the humans rather than Vander, I'm very sorry, Bennie. It's a sad loss to all of us.
Bennie scanned Augustus' face for signs of sarcasm, and there appeared to be none.
Have I misunderstood, right? The raven went up and died. We're sad about that, right?
Yeah, but you hate my pets.
You hate animals.
I do not hate animals. I hate the homing beacon Empire spy dog that lives in the zombie city and apparently is unconcerned. I hate deeply suspicious animals.
Al hates animals. I always know it.
I just realised what you've done. You hate animals yourself. This
Not
came
very
up
nice,
like...
is it, Alex?
But you basically created a complex plot line that has cast me as the animal hater to draw fire from your deep hatred of animals.
I love animals.
This is what the whole show's been about, Al. The whole thing. It's just for this one-liner.
Yeah.
And scene.
Bullshit.
Augustus, did you not leave the horses to be eaten by zombies?
Certainly not, Tock. That's why I've purchased the finest horses in all of Sadeholm. They will be galloping even now.
And yet, eaten they are.
The point I was trying to get to is that we might be in more peril than we initially realised, so we need to be on our toes.
Yes, let's get back to the peril. Now, these 3 doors, which to choose? I rather favour the left door, Vander says while shuffling in the direction of the left door and around the water feature.
Vander's waddled off on his own, has he?
He has.
Waddled? I move in many ways, but waddle is not one of them.
Sorry, oozed.
Vander, as you shuffle your way alongside the water feature, your foot presses down on a compression pad and you hear a... Can I have a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh, God.
This is why you don't send the wizard to scout out ahead.
7.
From the wall to the east, 3 darts fly out and embed themselves in your side. Please take 5 piercing damage.
Oh,
So he gets only 5 damage.
that's rather big for Vander. Vander slumps against the pillar to his right. Ow!
Burst into flames.
The rest of you see Vander stepping and you hear the of 3 darts as they fly out and smash into the side of him. And then you see him slump against a pillar.
That's quite a lot of blood, Vander says, looking down.
Sure, Vander doesn't have that much blood in him.
I'm going to move up to Vander.
I appear to have stepped on some kind of switch. I would look around you and check for traps, gentlemen. But before doing that, perhaps someone could assist me in pulling these barbs from my arm.
Yeah, Augustus will do that.
How are you going to attempt to heal him? You have lay on hands. You might have a healing potion.
Tick will hand you a pair of pliers. Gonna take them out, of course.
I think the healing potions were given to Vander and Bennie in
Okay.
the last episode.
They were. I don't want to say like we shouldn't use them now, but we definitely should use other forms of healing other than the healing potions.
Okay, Vander drinks the potion.
Okay, Tock's not giving him another one then.
That's a total of 5.
So, Vander, you did some kind of field medic work on yourself.
Vander pulls the darts from his body and downs a potion, feeling fortified, and slowly gets back to his feet.
Can I check for any traps ahead of us on the path towards the left-hand door that we're heading for?
You certainly can. Give me a perception or investigation check.
A natural 20 for 23 for Augustus, investigation.
Nice.
While Vander is performing surgery and guzzling magical potions to himself, Augustus does a sweep of the room, carefully identifying any potential traps. The room is actually clear of traps. The one that Vander stood on is the only one in the room.
Well done, Vander.
Just a couple more scars to add to the collection. As Vander takes what's left of his tattered cloak and pulls it around his arm.
It is a rather fine collection, Vander.
Why, thank you. I'm sure we'll all have a similar exterior in time if we carry on as we are.
Augustus brushes a spot of dust from the shoulder of his jacket.
We could all have scars that nobody asks about, can't we? That's something to look forward to.
Bennie's harping on about his scar again.
Thank you, Bennie. Let's make this about you.
Well, if you insist.
Right. I will not continue this march to the door. I suggest someone else takes the lead as I appear maybe less equipped than I thought to make the journey.
Yeah, should we have a Tock Augustus 1-2 in step and then Bennie and Vander behind? Or sorry,
Sure.
Tock, Tick and Augustus.
The door before you is closed, but it does not appear to be locked.
Yeah, I'm going to open the door. And goes through.
As you step through, you can hear a low growling and groaning coming from the south of where you currently are, through a doorway with no door in it. Can I have a stealth check, please?
We have sent our wrong man for this. That would be 8.
The growling to the south continues uninterrupted despite the noise you make as you enter the room.
Oh, so I didn't mean to shut the door there.
Shuts the door behind it.
I won't be a minute.
I don't know which square I'd be on, but I'm trying to peer round.
Gripping the side of the door frame and peering around, Augustus, you see before you 9 zombies shuffling around. These appear to be the same types of zombies that you saw emerging from the lava pit.
Okay, I am going to attempt to go back through the door I've come in through and quietly close it.
And can I have another stealth check for closing the door, please?
4. I slam the door.
Augustus reemerges,
Oh, God.
appearing really kind of sneakily, not making a lot of noise, which is very unlike him, and then reaches behind, grabs the door handle, and with a boom, slams the door. There's shuffling and screaming coming from the other side of the door, and you begin to hear banging as the creatures are trying to get through.
Tock, can you weld the door?
I cannot weld it. It is stone.
Well then, I suggest we pick another door and choose fast.
I'm going to dash to the nearest door and see if I can very quickly inspect it to see how safe it looks.
I'm going to shuffle behind Bennie.
Can Augustus try and smash the handle off the door? I'm hoping the handle on the other side might fall off, because if the handle doesn't turn, maybe they can't get through.
Augustus, give me an athletics check. Benny, give me an investigation check, please.
That's 19 for athletics.
Holding Ember in your hand, using the hilt of it, you smash down on the handle of the door, which cracks and breaks.
12 investigation.
The door before you is locked, but there don't appear to be any traps.
I glance back around and try to see if Augustus's action seems to have achieved anything.
Yep, which it has. The door is not opening.
Then I slow down and get my lock-picking set out. 18.
Benny taking a breath as the banging on the door intensifies, but the door does not appear to be giving way in any fashion. He gets out his lock-picking set and puts it into the lock of the door, and with a click, very quickly, it unlocks.
I very gently push it open to try to see what's on the other side.
Give me a stealth check, please. And Augustus joins. The party is now back together on the door to the north.
18 for stealth.
Benny, you very carefully open the door just a slit so you can peer through. Before you is a long corridor running east to west. Floating along the center of the corridor is a ghostly visage, blue hues of a woman.
I close the door
I don't think there's going to be anything nice behind any of these doors.
and I say, we got a ghost in this direction. Is that the poison we want to pick, or do we go for mystery door number 3?
I would imagine there's something terrible behind each door, and I personally favour the odds of 4 on 1.
Yeah, seems like reasonable odds.
I suggest we pick this door. I am immune to the effects of aging.
Okay.
Let us proceed.
All right.
I believe Tock has just volunteered.
After you, in that case. I don't know. I would think Vander might try and talk to the... Could Vander try and talk to the ghost?
Let's bowl through the door. Come on.
All right. Well, let's go and chat to a ghost, I suppose.
I will try and reason with it if that is possible.
Okay. So, through the door.
The moment you open the door, the ghostly visage stops and floats around 90 degrees to face the now open door. She tilts her head.
Tock will move up.
Yeah, Tock and Tick first. If we think this thing can age us, but it can't age automatons, then that is just the obvious move, right?
They will move up in front of Vander, protecting him.
Okay. The ghost floats towards you, her head tilted to the side. What are you doing here?
Greetings, my name is Vander Finnick. A pleasure to meet you. We are here to seek Lothar Janess.
Ah, you're here for the master.
Yes, and what, pray, is your affiliation to Lothar?
He created me.
I would imagine that predisposes you to be a friend, if you will, of Lothar. Would I be right?
I used to be, but these days I follow a new king.
I see. Maybe that I also know of this king you speak of. What is his name?
Ogruck.
I see. And what manner of creature is Ogruck?
A large creature, much larger than me.
How lovely. This Ogruck, is he predisposed to helping others?
The king does not help others. Others help the king. They are attempting to stop Lothar from reaching the magic number.
That is most fortunate. This is a chance meeting indeed. We too seek to stop Lothar from seeking this magic number.
That does not make sense.
Then you have me at a loss, for it makes perfect sense to me.
And she looks at you and begins to count. 1, 2, 3.
I send a mental message to Tock.
Kill her.
She may be referring to the ritual of ascension. You may be test subjects.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Tock will follow Vander's advice and will launch an attack. So, Tick will distract the ghost by standing behind, thus trying to do the help action, and Tock will attack.
Cool. Roll for initiative. You will get a bonus round, Tock.
Vander, Augustus glances at Bennie, because we're still standing outside the door, and that raises an eyebrow as if, is there any possibility we should just shut this door?
That's a 6 for Vander.
A 7 for Tock.
14 for Bennie.
11 for Augustus.
Surprise round for Tock and Tick.
Okay, well, Tock is going to draw his magical glowing sword and attack. He gets a 19 to hit
Is a hit.
and 13 magical slashing damage. Tick gets a 21 to hit
Is a hit.
for 7 non-magical slashing damage.
Tock, your attack slices through the kind of almost corporeal form of the ghost, and you can see that it's damaged her exactly as you imagine it would. Tick's attack is a bit more swishy and just goes kind of clean through her, only doing a small amount of the damage.
Tock will also say, "Alarm."
And then we start the first round proper with Bennie.
So I'm going to move in. This doesn't seem like the kind of location where firing arrows is going to be particularly beneficial. I'm going to dart in, attempt to stab the ghost with the short sword, and then I'm going to hopefully dart away again. So that's 23 to hit.
Is a hit. Please roll for damage.
7 piercing damage.
Bennie, as you pierce in with your short sword, the sword very quickly goes through the middle of her, almost like there's nothing there to properly go through, and you know that the amount of damage that you've done is less than it should be.
Yes, having dipped in and successfully struck, Bennie darts away.
And it is the ghost's turn. Reacting to the attacks against her, her arms raise in the air as her hair stands on end, and you hear this horrible scream fill the corridor. Can I have wisdom saving throws from everyone who can see her, please?
22 for Vander.
Vander is unaffected.
Tock rolls a natural 1.
It's a 13 for Bennie.
Tick gets a 17.
So it's 13 from Augustus.
Okay, so everyone, you're kind of grizzled veterans of combat now, and having spent so long in Veracare, even this horrific visage that you see before you doesn't frighten you. Vander just ignores it like it's not happening. Tock, however, you begin to hear the now familiar clacking of his knees chattering together. Tock, you are frightened once again, and she is going to attack Tick. Natural 20.
Oh, God.
Having screamed at you all, she turns round and places a hand on the face of Tick, delivering 25 necrotic damage.
25 necrotic damage.
25.
Jesus. Okay.
That's enough to put Tick down.
So having placed her hand on Tick's face, you see black spreading out, and Tick crumples to the floor. Augustus.
Augustus bowls into the room, shouts Ember, draws his sword, and then attempts to hit the ghost. Wow, 12.
Is a hit. Please roll for damage.
Nice.
So that should be 7 fire damage, I think. I'm going to smite her as well.
Yeah.
Roll 3d8, please.
The obsidian matrix told us that radiant damage was our friend against the undead.
It certainly did.
16.
Augustus, having negotiated his way quickly past Vander, sweeps around in a flanking maneuver behind the ghost, draws Ember, ignites it in flame, and then calls upon the power of Tyr as the sword itself glows white hot with radiant power. He swings at her, and the ghost explodes in a scream and disappears.
Tock is immediately going to rush forward to where it was next to a downed Tick and start making some slightly panicked repairs.
Bennie hops down as well and says, I don't know if a potion's any use. Here, Tock, I've got one if you need it.
Save the potion, Bennie. I can effect repairs.
Vander closes the door behind us.
Bennie looks around the corridor and says, did you kill her? Is she gone? Is she coming back? What do we reckon?
I believe that she is gone, thanks to our paladin.
What was she talking about there?
I don't know, but I sensed there was immediate harm about to befall us.
Vander looks around this corridor and seeing no obvious threats.
Gentlemen, I think we must take this opportunity to rest and recover what strength we can. It's the next stage of this little adventure, may well take nearly everything we have.
What did she say her new master, or whatever it was, is called? Ogruk?
Yes, Ogruk.
Can I recommend that if we run into him, we don't mention any of this?
It might indeed be a good idea.
And at this point, I'm going to use one of my abilities, Researcher. You may attempt to learn or recall a piece of lore if you don't already know the information. I'm going to search my head for what Ogruk might be.
Okay. Excuse me as I recover from the shock of you using an ability.
Vander, PhD.
Fuck me. Okay, so Ogruk is not a name specifically that you recognize, but you do know the kind of verbiage of it and the creation of the word, and it is ogre. It's like giant kind. You have a strong sense that Ogruk is definitely the name of an ogre.
The etymology of the word leads me to believe that we may be referring to some form of ogre, or giant kind.
Well, that's encouraging, Vander.
Presumably undead.
That would be even more terrifying.
Undead giant, yes, that does sound like a formidable foe.
Let's hope they don't have a king, Augustus.
Well, they don't anymore, Vander.
Quite. Now, as I was saying, it may be time to rest, as I suspect we'll need it.
I would find that to be acceptable.
Vander nearly collapses to the ground. I am going to perform Arcane Recovery.
What is going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am now taking notes. Vander is twice as dangerous now. I take notes.
This is not what I signed up for when I started DMing.
Yeah, I resign.
While this resting is going on, Bennie is feeling a bit restless, so he's going to have a quick scout around this corridor, lighting his hooded lantern and just creeping around to make sure it's safe as it appears.
Oh, give me an investigation check, please. Like it. I also love the fact that Bennie, under no circumstances, will ever rest. He's fundamentally opposed to the idea. I get nothing from it. I won't do it.
25.
Bennie, as you investigate the corridor while the others are resting and Tock pays careful attention to Tick to make sure that he can be brought back, you find that there is a singular door to the east of the corridor. The door appears to be locked, and from behind it you can hear some low groaning.
And that's the only exit apart from the one we went in.
It is the only exit. There are, however, no traps.
That's good news. Do I have any sense of the kind of creature that's making the groaning noise?
25 is a big roll. It's the sound of zombies. You're quite accustomed to it at this stage. So there is as far as you can tell, there is a small band of zombies on the other side of the door. They're not aggressively groaning. It sounds to you like they're likely just milling about.
I come back to the group. Well, there's only one way out, apart from where we came in, obviously. And sounds like zombies on the other side of the door also.
Are we sufficiently recovered to continue?
Indeed. So Tock has been repairing Tick, but also consulting the Obsidian Matrix.
Ooh, la la. And what's he consulting the Obsidian Matrix about?
Something quietly in a corner. In fact, you can't really hear Tock talking to it.
Interesting. Go on.
Is he shouting?
It appears to be sort of like displaying some pictures in a quick succession.
Vander looks to the one exit and then turns back to the group, greedily eyeing the Obsidian Matrix for a second before his one eye flicks to the other members of the group.
Gentlemen, as it appears zombies are on the other side of that door, I have a plan. We are, as you will have observed, rather shabby, covered in blood, not too far from the very zombies. We hope, potentially, to trick our way past. You remember that in the halls beneath us, I used this trick already. Would you be disposed to trying it again? I should say that zombies don't mind the term brains, but other lexicon is discouraged.
Vander, the zombies did not seem fooled by Augustus's appearance.
Augustus may have to, dare I say, take the drastic step of ripping his clothing a little,
Vander says with some trepidation.
I'm sorry. Are you telling us we got into that fight downstairs because you tried chatting with the zombies?
What I'm saying, Bennie, is that you look fantastic as a zombie, just as you are.
I haven't got a scratch on me.
And yet, the perfect visage of a zombie. I congratulate you on your appearance.
You could add some entrails.
Yes, not too hard to find around here, I'm sure. Augustus, though, you do make a rather fine zombie.
Vander, my concern is not so much with removing my clothes. My worry would be removing my armor.
Luckily for you, your old friend Vander has another plan. You see, recently, I myself was covered in blood and would be happy to share some of my blood with you.
And Vander moves forward with a bloody hand outstretched.
Can I just very quick, sorry to take it out of character for a moment. Can I just double check you are suggesting what I think you're suggesting, which is a Shaun of the Dead style, all of you pretend to be zombies to get past zombies?
No, that would be a terrible idea. Tock and Tick are going to climb into a small bag.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Vander's hand is now inches from your armor and closing in.
Bennie sees Vander lurching toward us with blood-stained, outstretched hands and says, thank you, Vander, but I think I can sort myself out for this particular problem. And I cast Disguise Self.
Ooh.
To look like a convincing zombie.
Bennie, what is it you plan to do?
Boo you, Vander.
Vander turns back to Augustus and begins smearing his blood all over Augustus's armor.
Augustus lays a heavy hand on Vander's shoulder and looks him very seriously in the eye, almost with that same kind of religious sort of zeal, the seriousness that Augustus saves for these truly momentous moments, and says, Vander, will you promise me to find a good laundry when we get out of here?
Vander looks with equal solemnity.
Of course, my friend. And do remember that to do great things, we must also do disgusting things.
Augustus sort of lets that fall to the ground and holds back tears as he allows Vander to ruin his beautiful clothes.
With almost priest-like solemnity, Vander rubs blood on Augustus's face.
Augustus's eyes are shut as tight as any eyes in the history of humanity.
You'll never make as good a zombie as Bennie, but this will do.
Thinking about it, probably should have checked I can unlock door before we did this, shouldn't I? Oh,
And remember, brains.
Just don't say out.
Okay, Tock and Tick will climb into the bag, and it'll supposed to be left on the floor for whoever wants to pick it up.
Bennie will pick it up. It's probably best if I go first into it, being the most convincing.
Indeed.
And I head for the door. I'm going to attempt to unlock this door.
Cool. It's okay. Yeah, first things first, let's have a thieves' tools check, please.
19.
Takes you no more than 4 seconds. With the thieves' tools out, you hear the click as the door is unlocked.
What a rogue.
Whisper to others, stay close behind me.
Brains.
And I push open the door.
As you unlock and push the door slowly open, before you, you see a small host of zombies, 6 in number. They appear to be aimlessly shuffling around. For a moment, they stop and all heads turn to your direction. Can I have performance checks from all 3 of you who are not in the bag? Vander and Bennie, please do it at advantage.
Oh, fuck. That would be a 6 for Augustus.
This is the worst set of rolls I've ever seen. It's like we marched in with no disguises at all.
It's a 4 from Bennie.
It's a 9 for Vander.
Just to be clear, you were really, really good at performance, right? Or at least you're above average at
The
performance.
high charisma party.
High charisma party. 2 of you rolling at advantage, 1 of you rolling normally. None of you got over 10.
That would be correct. Yes.
Yes.
Please roll for initiative.
God damn it.
Why? What's happening?
You open the door, and in the best possible zombie impressions you could do, you go, and the zombies immediately run to attack.
A 3 for Vander.
2 for Augustus.
Oh my god.
An 8 for Tock.
We just all fall asleep.
Not only have we walked in completely undisguised, we're now just going to get savaged as if we didn't know there was a threat.
So that's nine rolls in quick succession on D20s, none of which have been in double figures.
Dave, what was your initiative, sorry?
That's
7? Unbelievable.
I simply can't believe that they've seen through my disguise.
Immediately.
Even though you were magically disguised, I was more persuasive, and rolling at advantage for the D&D mechanics side of it, I was more persuasive than you. I was just a guy in a slightly messy suit.
And incredibly, because of your awful initiative rolls, all the zombies go first.
How has this happened in the one time in the entire campaign that I'm at the front?
Yeah, we're not even in fighting order. This is terrible.
Yeah, we put the squishiest people up front.
Yeah, we are in reverse fighting order. We've got Tock at the back, then Augustus.
I don't want to throw shade on Vander's plans, but this one doesn't seem to have gone very well.
Not over yet.
Tock's not at the back. Tock's in my bag.
But you haven't told him to come out yet.
Like, I haven't got enough initiative to have thought about it.
The zombies immediately fill the 10-feet wide corridor and prepare to launch a blistering attack against you. You guys are so bad.
Also, I would point out, if we were in fighting order, 7 or 8 zombies probably shouldn't expend many resources to take them down, especially in a corridor.
Well, the fighting herons don't run like that.
The 3 zombies that have surrounded Bennie begin to attack. Oh my god. They are going to attempt to all bludgeon him with their fists. The first one attack with a 9.
That's a miss.
Second one attack with a 21.
It is not a miss.
Please take 6 bludgeoning damage. And the third, also a 9. Terrible.
That's also a miss.
Yeah, so even though you're surrounded by 3 zombies that are all swinging wildly at you, you're able to dodge and duck, and only one of them actually catches you around the face. Okay, Tock.
Okay, so can Tock hear that there's fighting going on versus...
Yeah, the zombies have not been quiet in their attack, so Tock and Tick can both hear the screams and the bludgeoning sound of Bennie's jaw being smashed by a zombie fist.
In fact, our zombie impressions were so bad you could actually hear them.
hear the difference between the zombies and the impressions. Even Tock could discern. Okay, in which case Tock's going to come out of the bag fighting. So he's going to, in the bag, he's sort of standing on Tick's shoulders, sort of like as he crouched down. He's literally just going to like try and jump out the bag, draw a sword, and start laying about him. There's not really enough space in the corridor. I'll put him where I can put him.
Tock steps out of the bag, sword and shield drawn, and marches straight up to the first zombie he can see.
19 to hit.
Is a hit. Please roll for damage.
9 magical slashing damage.
Tock, tell us a story.
So literally just sort of bursts out the bag. As he does, the sword sort of like pointing out in front of him, catches the zombie under the chin, and as he wrenches the sword sideways, decapitates it. Tock's then going to advance into the space that the zombie was in, his armoured feet just like crushing the zombie body underneath him, and Tick will follow on after. Well, he will prepare to move into where Bennie is if there's a gap that sort of forms.
Bennie.
Well, Bennie appears to have found himself in a kind of face-to-face fight of the kind that he has never, ever had any intention of getting into, and is going to get out of this as quickly as possible. So I'm going to use my disengage action to remove myself.
So the very thing that Tick was preparing for seems to have happened. Okay, he moves in to protect Vander, stepping in front of him, blocking the hallway.
From a far more enjoyable distance, Bennie's going to have a shot at this zombie. 23.
Is a hit. Please roll for damage.
It's a total of 13.
Bennie, tell us a story.
So Bennie darts away from the zombies, then, having reached safety, spins, pulls out his bow, cocks an arrow, and fires at the nearest zombie. The arrow goes straight through the zombie's head, with a rather unpleasant squelching sound, and the zombie slumps to the ground.
It's the most impressive feat of agility you've ever seen from a zombie. Vander.
Vander's flintlock appears from his robes and is levelled at the nearest zombie. That's a 21.
Is a hit. Vander, please tell us the story.
Vander's hand comes up and the flintlock appears between Tick and Tock. The blast sounds and shrapnel rips the zombie's frail form apart, scattering him across the floor behind him and his other zombie friends as he ceases to move at all.
Augustus.
I will go up to here, muttering Ember as I go, and out comes the flaming sword, and in I stick it. 8.
Is a hit. Please roll for damage.
That's 6 fire damage.
He's obviously been put off by the disgusting outfit and torn clothes. Just, it's horrendous.
Augustus steps between the two automatons, ignites Ember, and pierces the flaming sword into the heart of the zombie before him. Pulling the sword out, the zombie leans in and growls in Augustus's face, drool appearing on his chin.
Augustus growls and drools back.
At least you're not winky, I guess.
Yeah, I'll hold a wink.
The remaining zombies begin to fill the corridor once more, and beyond that, you hear more zombies coming through. All 3 zombies are going to attack Augustus.
Okay, Tick is going to move with the shield to protect Augustus from the first attack.
11 for the first attack. So Tick's shield comes out and blocks the attack on Augustus's behalf. Second attack is 17.
Nope, AC's 19.
And third attack is 5.
Heh. Scorn.
The 3 zombies begin trying to club Augustus, who you can tell this is a fine gentleman who's been trained in dueling, as he steps, little movements that just throw the zombies off balance as he draws his sword and his shield, with Tock there occasionally providing assistance. Tock and Tick.
They're just going to, use their longswords to make sure work with these zombies. Tock gets a 12 to hit.
Is a hit.
Or 7 magical slashing damage.
7 being the magical number. Please tell us a story.
Again, he's just going to bring the sword straight down on the zombie's head, like cleaving in through a temple and slashing the head open.
Nice.
And then Tick is going to take the opportunity to advance to where the zombie was and attack himself.
Attack himself. Bold.
Attacks himself. Take a side.
The zombie in front of him is a hit. I'm assuming it hits 26 to hit.
Yes, 26 hits.
For 6 slashing damage.
Tick's attack is not quite as effective as Tock's, and much like Augustus before him, he stabs the sword in, and it comes out, and the zombie screams in his face. Bennie.
Benny's quite happy where he is, just taking pot shots, so he's going to shoot at this zombie. That is natural 1, a 7 total.
I think that's the only way you could miss, isn't it?
Benny, still looking like a perfect zombie, draws back his bow, fires it, and the arrow pierces the back of Augustus's hat, carrying it forward.
Bastard. What a day for my clothes.
Benny goes, "Friends?"
I mean, that is commitment to the bit.
What's Benny's plan? If we the rest of us die, he's just going to live out his days here as a zombie.
Vander.
Vander steps up just behind the shield wall, being formed by Augustus and Tick, and again, the flintlock slides out between the 2 shields and blasts the zombie on the left. That's a 20.
Is a hit. Please roll for damage.
Oh, it's a 2.
But that might be just enough.
Vander, please tell us a story.
Amazing! So the flintlock slides out between the 2 and kneecaps the zombie. Happily, that's just enough. Its leg gives way and it falls to the ground, dead again.
Beautiful. Augustus.
Slashy. I hit Mr. Zombie with my beloved Ember. Another natural 1 for 7. That was literally the only way I could have not hit him. Right?
Correct.
Well, I'll see your natural 1, Mr. David.
Having seen Vander cruelly and quickly dispatch the zombie on the left, Augustus attacks with Ember, swinging, completely missing the zombie as the flaming sword that looks oh so magnificent clatters ineffectively into the wall.
I now do wink at him.
The zombie does not register the wink. More zombies fill the corridor. The one who is dueling currently with Augustus is going to attack him using the Shelby Cat Crystal Calamity dice. Natural 20!
Oh, God.
Neutral DM strikes again.
Fuck it.
For the listeners, the DM just took his shirt off in celebration.
That is 9 bludgeoning damage, please, Augustus. I'm now going to save the Shelby Cat dice for special occasions. This thing is fantastic. And the other one is going to attack Tick for 9. Yeah, so the first zombie smashes into Augustus's jaw, obviously really offended by the wink. The second attacks Tick, who just deftly blocks the attack. I'm guessing Tick is probably questioning why Augustus didn't do the same. And Tock.
Okay, so first, Tick is going to attack the zombie in front of Augustus. It seems to be an extra tough one. So 22 to hit.
Is a hit.
9 slashing damage.
Tell us a story, Tick.
Try and make a path forward to Tock. Tick is going to smash the zombie in the face with a shield, causing it to fall back and just get trampled by the other zombies behind it. Okay, sensing a gap, Tock is going to, maybe deftly isn't the right word for a giant automaton, but he's going to barrel forwards into the 4 and attacks the zombie in front of him. Okay, he gets an 18 to hit.
Is a hit.
9 magical slashing damage.
Tock, tell us a story.
I mean, Tock's just going to run full bore into the zombie and just, again, like a linebacker hitting an elderly woman, just crush it to bits. It's horrific.
It's funny you should mention that because this is the zombie of an elderly dwarven woman. So
yeah, it's a true horror for any of the biological life forms to witness.
Body parts and brain matter splattering everywhere.
Yeah. Afterwards, Tock's gonna, like, I would say, slightly aimlessly swing his sword like he was expecting there to be a zombie, but it's just been obliterated.
Bennie.
Yep, just going to keep taking them pot shots.
Oh, I believe it.
That's just unlikely.
It's another natural one. 7.
He swallows his own arrow whole.
Incredibly, for the rest of you, you hear the arrow whistling, as is now common with Benny's attack. It misses all of you, no problem. Cruises past the zombies, bit of a problem. Hits Augustus's hat, which is on the floor behind the zombies, for the second time.
Bennie shouts, "Is he bloody rotting fingers? Can't get a grip on arrows."
Augustus grimaces of this bullshit.
Vander.
With my view slightly obscured, Vander's hand then stretches out in the direction of the zombie by Tick, and I attempt to enter its mind with Mind Spike.
Oh.
You get to find out whether zombies have minds.
So 16
Is a hit. Please roll for damage.
is a 2.
You enter the mind of the zombie. It's a barren, desolate wasteland. There isn't even a zombie within his own mind.
I mentally punch it.
It does little effect.
Punch him in the hunger.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to add, though, that I scream,
I make an amazing zombie.
Did Vander feel young again when he was inside the zombie body?
Augustus.
There's a bit of a logjam developing here. Can I go through Tock up to the zombie in front?
You certainly can.
Good thinking.
Also, I'd like to point out that you do get additionally covered in bits of the old dwarven lady zombie
Yeah, I'll allow it.
as you squeeze past Tock.
That's fine. I've extracted a solemn oath from Vander to launder my clothes.
Vander, Oath Keeper.
He wants to be. Otherwise, Augustus will bring the hammer of Tyr down on him. I don't know if Tyr has a hammer. Could do. Gauntlet of Tyr. It's a gauntlet.
What a paladin.
Exactly. Shut your face.
Lore.
Lore. So Augustus leaps over, or sort of darts past Tock, and then slashes Ember towards the zombie in front of him. 19.
Is a hit. Roll for damage.
12.
Augustus, tell us a story.
He swings Ember through exactly where the zombie's belt would be, cutting it neatly in 2, and the top half and bottom half all in a heap. And the zombie is dead, or whatever a dead thing is when it dies and stops being able to move around. Very sad.
No windows to open either.
That Dr. Sigmund can't do anything. He's busy attacking my hat for some reason.
I've had a lot of problems with it. A ridiculous headpiece.
The zombie's turn. The one remaining zombie is going to attack Tick. This is why you don't use other dice. That is a 5? It's 5 hit?
No.
Tock.
Okay, Tock is just going to attack. Tick's going to attack him as well. Tock gets a 17 to hit.
Is a hit.
9 magical slashing damage.
Tock, please tell us a story for the last zombie.
Okay, so Tock catches one of its flailing fists with his shield, uses it to drive it against the wall, so its back's turned, and then the crossguard, the knuckle bow of his sword, smash into the back of the skull of the zombie, just like crushing the spine and the back of the skull.
Jesus.
God.
Highly descriptive.
That was... okay, then. That's cool, man. It's cool. We are out of combat. Very good job, everyone.
Well, I'll wait for us to know the coast is clear, but Tock's going to offer to repair some of Augustus's clothes and his hat.
I'm not having stuff repaired and then having to be a zombie again.
I say, wait, as I still look like a zombie, shall I take the lead?
The zombies did not seem fooled, Bennie.
Yeah, I know, but I've gone to effort now, so...
Yeah, let's send our zombie up front.
We made good zombies,
says Vander, slightly irritated.
Tick and Tock will get back in their bag, ready for Bennie to at least carry the option of defense along with them.
I'm going to move forward, gathering up my spent arrows as I do so. Sorry about your out, Augustus. That was a genuine accident.
Augustus stares at the ceiling.
Bennie's attempting to move fairly stealthily so that he's kind of gets to make a decision if he encounters anyone, rather than having to react.
Bennie, as you make your way through the thin corridor, followed by Vander and Augustus holding the bag with Tock and Tick in, you find another door ahead of you. It is shut, and from the other side you can hear some rather rhythmic grunting. It is definitely the sounds of zombies, but there is a deep, guttural zombie that appears to be shouting, different to normal ones.
Zombie King!
So I'll whisper to everyone, do you hear that? I mean, at this point, we got to go forward, right?
Believe we do. I also, despite all the evidence to the contrary, believe in our plan to remain as a group of ne'er-do-well zombies.
Lightly from the bag, Bennie, you can hear the definition of insanity is repeating the same mistakes.
I have half a face.
Creep forward to the door and check it for traps.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
11.
There don't appear to be any traps on this door, and in fact, there is no door handle or lock. You should be able to push the door open easily.
And not close it behind us should we want to make a quick exit. I very gently push it open.
Can I have a stealth check, please?
24.
In the dim, musty chamber before you, a grotesque spectacle is unfolding. A colossal figure, once a formidable ogre, now a wretched servant of decay, stands draped in the tattered remnants of regality. A ghastly crown perches upon its mouldering head, casting a sickly glow across his pallid, rotting features. Before him, a small legion of the undead has assembled. The same group you saw emerging from the lava pool on the floor below. Their vacant gazes fixed upon their newfound sovereign. The air hangs heavy with the stench of decay as the Zombie King, in a voice that reverberates with unnatural resonance, addresses his obedient assembly.
Zombie King! He's real!
Second Zombie King. We've already met Zombie King.
At best, you killed a zombie princeling or a minor noble in the zombie kingdom.
Can I tell what he's saying?
In the ghastly language of the deceased, the Zombie King, he seems to be issuing commands, a kind of dissonant chorus of guttural groans and eerie murmurs, but you don't understand a single word of what he's saying. But it's certainly resonating with the zombies, who appear to be almost, as far as zombies can, cheering for what he's saying. After a moment of watching them, they begin to head west towards the door.
Yep, I can see some of them now. There's quite a lot.
As they appear to be leaving, I just decide to bide my time and see if everyone goes. I'm out of sight, right?
Yep.
No one spotted me.
With the room quickly emptying of the zombies, the Zombie King himself squeezes through the door, and you hear it a slam as the door is shut from behind.
I whisper back, coast's clear, everyone.
Vander shuffles forwards.
Have a look around the room. It looks like there's sort of a podium and...
You mean investigation check?
I say, well, I don't know how much of that you all spotted, but that looked like a zombie army heading west, and they were fired up. Something's happening, which could either help or hinder us. I'm not sure which.
Tiara mentioned that the zombies are no longer predisposed to Lothar. Is it possible they've come to overthrow him?
I wonder what's going on. How has that suddenly happened? Well, I guess we're not going to work that out, are we? Question is, do we follow them, see where they're going, or do we try and take the opposite route and avoid them?
I suspect we should take the other route then, and see if we can pick up any further supplies or find a place to rest further.
Yeah, or maybe see if we can come across that imprisoned orc.
Ah, yes.
I wonder how our pal Axel's getting on. I hope they're doing okay.
I wonder, gentlemen, whether perhaps the army that just departed this room was doing so in response to our friends, the orcs.
Very possible.
Does that mean we got an obligation to go after him, do you reckon?
Say that.
Well, let's quickly scout to the east, see if we can find anything. Rescuing Shakh would be a great bonus to all of us.
Yeah, I suppose, moral queries aside, a plan that involves not going after a load of zombies sounds like a good one to me.
Well, when we do follow them, let us trail in their wake, see where they go, rather than attracting their attention.
So, east.
Agreed.
Start heading towards the door. Let's do a quick investigation check before pushing on. If the traps and the like.
Yep, give me investigation or perception.
Just 10.
The room is filled with strange slurry of dwarven remains, and the kind of acrid smell of rot and decay is absolutely disgusting. There do not appear to be any traps, however.
Press on then, in that case.
As you look to the south, you can see a kind of eerie blue light that is beaming from the west to the east in a room 2 down from where you are.
Grown to distrust eerie blue lights, I would like to have a sneak to see if I can get a closer look at this without alerting whatever is the cause of the eerie blue light to my presence.
Sure, give me a stealth check.
From the back, Benny will hear a, "Be careful, Benny. You're guided. You didn't need it. You can..."
I'm rolling it anyway. I want it.
Highest roll of the campaign.
That is a 29 stealth.
Such a ridiculous roll. Benny lets the rest of you know that he's about to head south to investigate the light, and then just seems to vanish from thin air in front of you. You may move with impunity in a southerly direction, Benny.
There's no kill like overkill.
In the dimly lit chamber before you, a stone sentinel stands frozen in time, a monument to the ferocity and power of an orc warrior caught in the midst of a relentless swing. Carved from rough-hewn granite, the orc's sinewy muscles ripple with tension, his expression twisted in a fearsome battle cry. Bathed in an ethereal blue light emanating from the wall opposite, the statue casts long, haunting shadows across the wall behind him.
I look at it and I've had an idea, so I should almost certainly go back and talk to the others and find out what to do, but as I've had an idea, I'm going to do my idea. So Benny's going to step forward, taking great care to avoid the light itself, but pull his mirror out of his backpack and place it right in front of the source of the light so it reflects on itself rather than shining at the orc.
Benny, as you place the mirror up, the blue light does indeed bounce off the mirror and stops casting its glow over the orc. There is a little crackle, and then the light goes out. And then you begin to hear the sound of crumbling rock from behind you as the statue begins to shake and tremble, and an orc warrior appears before you mid-swing. There is a shout and a cry as the orc berserker swings his axe. Mickey, please come and join us at the table.
Hello, good evening.
Mickey!
Hey, Mickey!
Hello, gentlemen.
Did not see that coming.
I did not see that
Please
coming.
tell me the orc's response is hello, gentlemen. It's very suave.
Benny shouts, Vander, hats!
Vander shuffles in the direction of Benny.
I've just remembered I'm still disguised as a zombie.
Yes, you are.
As you're talking, in a really weird way, out this very small, but it's like a 2-foot opening, 2 giant robots are going to climb out. They're both the size of like NFL linebackers.
Shakh will instantly step back and turn to the nearest person to him. But my God, there's walking cooking pots. What on earth are these cooking pots? And I'll turn to Vander.
Vander slips his mask back into place to look slightly less grotesque than he does currently and steps forward.
Shakh, I am Vander Finnick. We come as friends. I have spoken with your commander, the Centurion.
And with that, Vander produces the hat.
Your friends bade me show you this as a token of our alliance with them.
Shakh is overjoyed by what he sees in your hand and giggles as he takes it from you, gives it an embracing sniff. And he's like, yes, this is mine. And then pops it on top of his head, very sideways like the Artful Dodger, then looks up very triumphantly. Thank you, this means a lot to me.
It's a charming visage you cast, Shakh. As I say, we met your friends in the tunnels before entering the castle and agreed that we would come here, kill Lothar, and find you if possible.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, Lothar. Last I remember, I was just about to put the bit of my blade towards his neck. He did some tricksy magic. Yes, I want him. Where is my company? Have you seen any of my 13th company who I came with?
The last we saw, they were entering the castle via a more direct route.
We were to be the hammer and anvil.
Right, excellent. That sounds just like them.
They were most dashing. Can I assume, Shakh, that you are still interested in getting even with Lothar?
Oh, very much so. I mean, there's nothing more I want than to have his blood dripping over my great axe. And at that, Shakh just embraces the haft of his great axe, shaking it with the saliva coming down his mouth at the thought of getting his justice over this Lothar.
Fine image, says Vander, nodding along with Shakh. Then I suggest we are of one mind as to what we must do next.
Yes, but first I'd like to know what's inside the cooking pot. Are you cooking a pig?
Ah, yes, our friends. May I introduce Tick and Tock, our automatons.
Greetings. Where is the cooking pot you refer to?
Shakh is very dumbfounded by the fact that this metal contraption is talking to him. He's never seen anything like it. He's almost skittingly stepping back like a scared cat, not sure of what to do. Looks at Vander and the others for reassurance, but then sees that it must be okay. So leans in and says, so what is it? Is there a halfling inside you or something? And at that, he'll lean down to the navel of Tock and lean in and shout, if you're trapped in there, just give it a knock, 2 knocks, and Shakh will release you.
My internal components do not consist of halflings.
Is this some kind of witchcraft, is it then?
So you can see through maybe some like dents and chips in the armor that there seems to be like a dark fibrous wood underneath the metal plates.
Oh, wow. Well, Shakh is completely amazed by it and has no idea what on earth this is, how it works, but he loves it.
And Bennie says, by the way, while we're doing clarifications, I'm not actually a zombie. I know I look like a zombie, but I'm not a zombie. It's a long story.
No, that's all right. I thought you just had a bad night, that was all.
I don't usually look like this.
It's difficult to tell. It's true. I agree, Shakh.
I'm catching a lot of strays today.
Well, as many as my hat.
But forgive me, allow me to introduce Augustus.
And Vander gestures to the paladin.
While we're doing introductions, Shakh, I should tell you that I'm usually far better dressed than this.
Well, Shakh just loves what you're wearing anyway. Despite him being an absolutely grand half-orc, he loves a good bit of attire, and he instantly tells you're a man of class.
And Shakh, your brother Shay gave us the top hat to bring to you.
Oh, yes. So you've seen Shay. How is he?
Last I saw him, he was storming the front gates of the palace. So perhaps we ought to move swiftly to his aid and the aid of the rest of your band.
Excellent. That sounds just like my plan. That's exactly what I want to do.
May I introduce the last of our group? He goes by the name, the Dreadlude.
And with that, Vander gestures at Bennie.
Can you tell if a zombified person is rolling his eyes?
Easily, I think.
Yeah, pretty easily.
You could roll them across the floor, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Ignore Vander. He comes out with all sorts. I'm Bennie.
Excellent. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Holds out his hand.
As you are standing around chatting with one another, you suddenly hear a booming sound as if 2 large wooden objects have just collapsed.
Right. Well, gentlemen, it appears that certain death is once again calling our names. May I suggest an investigation to the north?
Very well, Vander. Let us move swiftly. I think Augustus is going to stride up there and hope everyone else is coming too. It's not the time for stealth anymore, I don't think.
Give it my best hobble.
As it's become clear that stealth is finishing, Bennie would like to pause for a moment in the room he's in and dispel the illusion that makes him look like a zombie, return to normal, and roll a quick hit dice. Have we got time?
Yeah, go on. Shakh, as the others begin to head north, you prepare yourself to follow, and you see Bennie, who is the zombie you've encountered so far, kind of just shake his face, and as he shakes it, his face quickly transforms into a gaunt human, and he quickly straps up his arms.
Bennie, have you done something with your hair?
Shut up, Vander.
The sound of the heavy wooden objects crashing is coming from a westerly direction through the door, Bennie, where you saw the zombie king and his retinue marching through mere moments ago.
Shakh, as the boldest in our group, would you mind doing the honors?
Oh, happy to. Do you want to do it quietly or easily?
I prefer the second.
Excellent. Me too. Like the way you think.
I'd like to draw my bow as Shakh heads towards the door to give him some cover as he opens it.
Tock and Tick will do some preparations as well, draw swords and ready their little missiles.
So you're attempting to smash the door down, I take it?
Yes. With a nice big
Excellent.
growl. Rawr.
Shakh steps forward with his magnificent-looking great axe, and with one clean strike, axe goes straight through the door, shattering it, revealing the chamber beyond. As you look beyond, Shakh and the rest of you, you see what's left of the Zombie King's retinue charging northwards towards a purplish light. There is a bright flash and the sounds of multiple explosions, and then you hear the clattering roll of a crown rolling back down the corridor towards you.
Maybe discretion would be the better part of valor.
I don't know, there's a crown up there. I feel like we've crashed in through the door, so we need to keep going now.
Clearly, whoever's in there's going to be distracted by whatever's going on in there. I don't think we've necessarily blown our cover yet.
All right, well, let's send Sneaky Beak up there to have a look.
Everyone's dead. Let's send Bennie in to see what killed them.
Yeah.
Well, we know that there was a massive ogre wearing a crown, and now we know the crown's on the floor. So, probably there's something quite dangerous up there, I'd say. Well, let's all go in the room through here. Bennie can at least go and have a peek round the door, and we're all in close support.
Good idea.
The moment you all enter the room, a voice rings out. Ah, excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4 makes 10. And we will end it there.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Dave Windust as Bennie Quez, Alex Morrison as Augustus Zeno, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tock, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support. Marshall 001, Marky B, Darcy Thompson, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sakura, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika, SJ Phionics, Richard Ungamus, Rabbi Camel, Team Vander, Paris Hakar, Path Pursuit, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Mama Strange, Queenie, Liz Beckett, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
And quick drinks check. What's everyone drinking? Obviously, we know Al has his espresso martini.
Own brand ginger beer.
Oh, no, Harry. No. Ginger. They do not have Anything else?
Water. Was there not water in the tap?
Was it
You're
not
not a fan
sand?
of ginger beer.
A can of own brand sand.
I think ginger beer is perfectly acceptable.
Oh,
Don't
of
let
course
them-
you
don't let
do.
them-
This is the fucking apricots all over again.
I love ginger beer.
I don't like apricots.
No, apricots are the worst. But ginger beer is awesome.
I'm having a glass of tap water.
Oh, thanks. For God's sake.
Ginger beer and
Lime and rum.
oh god, ginger beer and gin. Not awful. Yeah.
Well,
not awful.
I mean, I'm willing to try it because ginger beer is that good. But
I mean, it was a dark day when I tried it because, you know, obviously that kind of drink comes out of having very little in the drinks cabinet. But
I've seen you drink gin and Beck's.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, if you wouldn't mind getting to your point.
Ginger beer is bottom tier soft drink alongside like elderflower, dandelion and burdock. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, dandelion and burdock is terrible. Elderflower's quite nice.
Oh, fuck off. Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our Linktree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.